Football world, I'm Jerry Azumah with Sam Brief, and thank you for joining us on To The Points podcast, where you'll hear us break down primetime NFL matchups, along with some bets that I like. Mr. Brief, how you doing today?
Wonderful. It's marathon morning here in beautiful Chicago. We got a world record today. Kelvin Kiptum running the marathon in 2 hours and 35 seconds. So I feel like in his honor, we should make this like the quickest podcast of all time, right?
He's almost as fast as me.
Yeah, what'd you run that marathon in? Like an hour?
Forever. Just under forever.
Well, Zoom has run a full marathon. I have run a half marathon, so he's a full achiever. I'm like a half achiever. And with that spirit in mind, Zoom, let's get right to the points. It's Sunday morning, but we're going to start with Sunday Night Football. What I'd say is the game of the week between 3-1 Dallas and the undefeated San Francisco 49ers. Let's hear it.
Currently, the 49ers are a home favorite at 3.5 points, and the total for this game is at 45. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, they are a very fine football team. They rank in the top 5 on both total offense and defense. Offensively, they have playmakers all over the place, starting with Christian McCaffrey, CMC. San Fran has one of the best rushing attacks, and CMC is leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Last week, he had 4, and 3 of them came from the ground. Now, a lot of credit goes out to their offensive line for exceptional play, especially at the point of attack. Kyle Shanahan, he's done a fantastic job with creative play calling and getting the stars in space. Now, the Cowboys, defensively, they're no joke, and they match up well with anyone in the NFL. If they have a weakness, it's probably their run defense, and last week, the Cardinals exploited that. They were able to get a hat on Michael Parsons, and they gashed him several times on the ground. Look for the 49ers to do the exact same thing with Christian McCaffrey, especially with how well the offensive line is playing. They're moving people all over the place. Now, the Cowboys defensively, they might have some issues with defending the run, but make no mistake about it, they are a very talented unit and they play well collectively. Now, pressuring the quarterback is the number one thing that they live by. Their goal is to make it as uncomfortable as possible for the quarterback in the pocket. So this will be a test for Brock Purdy to get the ball out of his hands very quickly and not take unnecessary punishment. Now, if Shanahan will utilize his quarterback, it's going to be with his athletic ability, along with various schemes to get him in space. Give Brock Purdy some time in that pocket, and he will find his talented playmakers down the football field like Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, and Kittle. They can tear it up down the football field, and they are extremely good at the yak. Now, no digs in the secondary, so please believe the ball will be in the air a lot. Now, San Fran defensively, they have some ballers of their own, led by Bosa and Fred Warner and company. And remember, this unit also is a top 5 defense in the NFL. Dak, he's been playing well. He's been protecting the ball at all costs. He has to somehow find a way to get activated and get CeeDee Lamb the ball, because this is going to be the best way to beat this team. What they have to do right now is run the ball effectively with Pollard and try to get the 49ers off balance. To the points, I'm excited for this game. I'm taking the 49ers to cover the spread late in this game. I see CMC doing his thing and having a big night tonight. Put some change on him going over 79.5 yards rushing and 32.5 yards receiving and scoring a touchdown.
All right, Zoom, you're going with McCaffrey and the Niners to cover. I can't disagree with you here. I say they win their 15th consecutive regular season game. McCaffrey, that man is unstoppable. Let's talk about a team now that a lot of our audience does not like to talk about, and that's the Green Bay Packers. We've got them and the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Jimmy Garoppolo is back from a concussion he had to miss last week. Let's get into Monday Night Football.
All right, guys, Monday Night Football is here. We have the Packers headed to Vegas to challenge the Raiders. And currently the Raiders are a 1.5-point favorite. And the total for this game is at 45.5 points. Now the Packers, they get an impressive weapon right back. Christian Watson. He's been unavailable due to injury. But last week, he played a little bit. They eased him back into the game plan. And then for this Monday night, I expect many targets to go his way. Now, this dude is big. He's strong. He's fast. He's physical. I anticipate Love sticking in the pocket a little bit longer, and airing it out to Christian Watson. Now, Max Crosby and the Raiders defense, they will definitely challenge that pocket. Crosby, he is a beast. He wins his one-on-one matchups, and he creates a serious problem for offensive lines. Now, Love, he will have to get in that pocket and get that ball out quickly because the Raiders' defensive line is really good. I anticipate a lot of crossing routes, three-step drops, things like that to get him into a rhythm, and then to also spread the ball around to a lot of his wide receivers like Musgrave and Dobbs. Now, Jimmy G is back for the Raiders. He's back from injury, and he'll be under center. I anticipate him leaning on Josh Jacobs, the running back, to ease him back into things. Jacobs, he's become a dual threat as of late. Look for him to get a great amount of carries along with some quick checkdowns to the flat, which is basically an extension of the running game. Now, the Packers, looking at their defense, if they have a weakness, it's probably stopping the running backs. I anticipate Jacobs getting a lot of action this game. Now, quarterback Jair Alexander, he's hurting. So look for more passes to Myers to test that secondary. Sam, overall, I like this matchup for Monday Night Football. I think this game is going to be extremely exciting. To the points. I anticipate this game being really close. Green Bay should be well rested for this game. They get all of their offensive weapons back healthy, and the Lions beat them pretty bad last week, so look for them to bounce back. I think they'll do it this game. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers to cover the spread and put some change on Josh Jacobs over 72.5 rushing yards and Christian Watson over 40.5 receiving yards.
I assume you've got the Packers. You're wearing a cheese head this morning. I don't know if I like that. It's a little stinky for me. I don't like cheese. I'm actually allergic to it. I'm going to pick the Raiders. I've got Garoppolo giving that team some juice in his comeback to the lineup. You know, the Packers have been outscored 44-3 in the first half of their last two games. I think they fall behind early, and the Raiders hold on for the win. All right, that's enough of the Packers. Let's get into fantasy football. That's really what's on everyone's mind on a Sunday morning and afternoon, and for most of America, 24/7, 365. So, Zoom, I am pining for your fantasy picks.
Yes, fantasy football, baby. Start Christian McCaffrey. He's going against the top-rated Dallas Cowboys defense, but they're vulnerable to backs like him. The best way to slow down a defensive line like that is to run right at him. So look for CMC to get a lot of action. San Fran's offensive line is playing extremely well, and I think this continues. I would also start another Christian Watson. He's well-rested and faces a Raiders defense that gives up many touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. I think offensively, the offensive line will protect Love enough, and he'll be able to connect with Watson down the football field. Overall, I see him having a big day against the Raiders DBs.
The Christians, McCaffrey and Watson. Zoom, you're kind of making me a little nauseous hearing you talk about that because I am playing against Christian McCaffrey in fantasy today. And I'm so nervous because I know I'll go into Sunday night with a lead because he's got McCaffrey and a few others. And then McCaffrey's just going to annihilate me, right?
Yeah, he's going to go off, man. I have a feeling that tonight is going to be his night.
And Sam is going to lose. All right, Zoom, this has been a great To The Points. We didn't quite do it in a record time in honor of the Chicago Marathon, but still a wonderful episode. Enjoy your football Sunday, Zoom. Send it home.
All right, football world, this has been To The Points, and thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow Jerry Azumah and Sam Brief on all social media platforms. Until next time, guys.